Hi, it's Pete Reed, and we're just going to have a quick look at the use of buffer in terms of a key part of your marketing mix, in particular when we're using social media. Now, this diagram here is part of the marketing sessions that we deliver in terms of how people in voluntary sector organisations can deliver their marketing and where they can expect to get the best returns for their money. And indeed, it's a useful little chart just to think about as we move forward. So as you can see, I've gone off to the bufferapp.com, and again I got here through going to Google and typing buffer and choosing the correct choice. Now here, as you can see, we can log in with Twitter, we can log in with Facebook, we could log in with LinkedIn, or indeed we can log in with email. So I tend to log in with my email address. So my email address is pete@illuminateict.org.uk. And then I will type in my password whilst carefully not saying what it is out loud, because that way causes me lots of hassle. There's the option to create an account if you haven't got an account, and there I can now sign in, and there I am now inside of the buffer. Now, as you can see, what I've got here is it shows me the buffer that I've actually got ready to go out, and that's scheduled to go out today. And have I tried buffer yet? What do you think? And underneath that, you can see that although this is the current one, I can switch to a custom time if I'm not happy with the time that that's scheduled to go out. I could delete it, I could edit it, or indeed I could hit the Share Now button, which would immediately dispatch it. Down the side here, I've got the accounts that I can actually use. So I've got my Twitter account, and I've got my Google Plus page account. I could also link it to my Facebook account and all the other bits and pieces, and LinkedIn, etc. Now, if I want to go to adding lots and lots of accounts, then I would need to upgrade to Awesome, which is code for there is a paid version that you can also use. Now, the paid version is cheap as chips, and so if you're going to be seriously looking at this as terms of a marketing tool, it is well worth the pennies. However, I'm just playing with it at the moment, so I'm not paying for this particular service. Here is some 5 daily content suggestions available for the next 11 hours. So what this allows us to look at is the idea that we could actually populate our feed with some suggestions. So top 10 automation resources. Nobody can go back and start from a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. So we've got all sorts of bits and pieces, and I could add them into my Twitter feed, and the idea is that I'm actually sharing useful information or homilies or whatever that keeps my feed busy without the need for me to go on and add lots of always to see lots of different things. As well as being able to enter and take things straight out of there, I can also see the analytics. So I can see that how many bits and pieces I've sent out. So today I've sent a video out to say, or a tweet out to say I'm just creating a new video, and I've tagged it as Buffer and Illuminate ICT. Nobody's retweeted it yet, nobody's favorited it, nobody's mentioned it, but it's got a reach of 754 potential people who are going to see this. Again, underneath there is where I've seen an article that I think some people may be interested in. So again, Search Engine Land, how to reduce landing page clutter for optimal AdWords performance, and one person out of the potential has actually clicked onto that. So again, we can actually work it in that manner. Here is where I can set the schedule for my tweets. And again, here it will depend upon which time of the day I actually want to send it out at. Now, I've chosen 4 different times. Now, for some tweets, that would be really quite annoying if I was to set this up and send them out 4 times every day. However, this is actually aimed at particular demographics. So, for example, I know that about 30% of the people who follow me on Twitter actually look at Twitter first thing in the morning as they're on the way to work, either sat on the bus or the first thing when they get into the office. So 8:45 is quite likely to catch them. I know of other people who only actually look at Twitter on their lunchtime. So just past 1 o'clock, when I know they'll be sat having a cup of tea at their desk, that will pop up and it will potentially help them there. Some people like to have a sit down and watch this while they're actually checking their having their tea or their evening meal, or indeed sat watching the news. So therefore I've timed it so that it will actually reach those people. And other people, the last thing they do before they go to bed is they will pick up their phone and just see what's happening in the world of Twitter. So again, I've scheduled it to approach those people as well. And I could add more posting times if I wanted to, just by clicking on Add Posting Times. I could also decide that this is far too much and I could delete a posting time if I wanted to, just by clicking on there. Now I could add a different schedule for each day of the week. So for example, this could be my Monday schedule. I could have a different one for Tuesday. I could have one for Wednesday. I could have one for Thursday, so it would reach all the people who were looking at their laptops or their desktops instead of looking at Coronation Street or whatever. Or indeed, however, new posting schedules is part of the Awesome service, so it's not part of the free service. Now I can also set my time zone. So for example, it's quite possible that I may want to just talk to the people who I know are following me in the States. And so I could actually set myself with an American time zone so that I could actually reach those people at a time that suits them. Or indeed I could do the same if there was people following me from Australia or whatever. Here I've got my settings tab, and here I can choose my link shortening. And so there's my link shortening. At the moment I'm using Buffly, but I could use Bitly or JMP, or indeed I could say no shortening. But the short links has got aggregated click tracking, so I can actually click it into there. I've also got Google Analytics tracking set up, so I can actually use it in that manner. So it's easy to get started. All I would do to start is come back to my buffer, and then what do I want to share? So here I am, just demonstrating for the video how to use Buffer. So there we go, I've got my message in there. Here are the two accounts that I've actually got associated with. I've got Posting to IICTP, which is me on Twitter, do follow. And there I've got a Google Plus page because I'm playing with Google Plus and really getting quite into it at the moment. Down in this corner here I've got the option to share now, or indeed to add to my buffer. So I'm going to add that to my buffer, and that is now saving. So as you can see, that's one more post in my buffer, and that's ready to share. Okay, so as you can see, this is a wonderful tool. Now there's other things that we can actually do inside of here as well. So if I click back to the home page and then go onto the a website. So here I've got onto the ICT Champions website. It's a blog that I run. And here I've got a few things that may be of interest. So building a communication strategy including social media. So I'm clicking onto that one, and there it's got the starts of the article. And so here I could click onto my buffer symbol, which is here, and the buffer symbol is available because I've downloaded it as an extension in Chrome. I click onto there, and it actually brings it up, says build a communication strategy including use of social media. It's picked up some of the images from the post, and here I could just click onto buffer, and away that's gone, and it's being added to my buffer. Now, as well as that, I could actually highlight part of the text. So the use of social media in the voluntary community sector is just the beginning. And again, if I click on my buffer icon, it's actually picked up that quote from the text and will use that instead of the heading in order to be able to post it. So again, I could actually just move this up a little bit and click on buffer, and that has now been added to my buffer. So again, as you can see, it's very, very straightforward as a tool that allows me to go away and to start to play and to create the various bits and pieces. So here we are back on our slide. It's a great way to get started as terms of managing your social media, because it will allow you to schedule your tweets and your other social interactions to go to the social media when you want them to go. Remember, you can link them to go to Facebook as well. You can either link them by using the the #FB tag if you've got tweets actually enabled inside of Facebook, or indeed you can send them direct to your Facebook page. Now, also I would suggest that you think about the fact that if you put something to your Facebook page, it's actually on that timeline, and if people do not have a very active timeline, it's not going to sync very far. It will always be present. However, with Twitter, you generally only get to see the last 7 or 8 tweets, so therefore there's a limited time window in which you can actually reach the people you're trying to reach. So repeated tweets or repeated messages on Twitter is probably more accessible without being too spammy than it would be if we did the same thing in Facebook. Okay, so there we go, a quick short clip on the use of buffer by social media. Hope it helps. Talk to you later. Cheers. Bye.